prison. All because of the cell phone, and kids will be kids. And how is that going to affect that relationship with daddy and the little girl? Oh, that makes me cringe thinking about it.
It even gets worse. It even gets worse.
Wait, worse?
Yeah. Supposedly, if your child watches that for less than 1 hour a day, he's going to be fine. If it goes to 3 to 5 hours, they have 71% of them think about suicide.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, again, I know it sounds stupid, but I really believe this. Today's cell phone is yesterday's cigarettes. Think about it. Anyway, we'll talk about that. Also, we have coming up. We're going to do a couple things this hour, and then later on after 5 as well, when we have Holy Crap at Sports, we'll have some little Skynet update and Pete's tweets and Holy Crap at Sports, best podcast in America. We'll also have a special. If you are new to the program, and again, I haven't seen any marketing research. I really don't have any idea how many people listening right now have never are new to town or whatever, and have no idea. I've never heard my name or Pete Davis or Flounder or anything else, and are figuring, what in the world is this ridiculous show going on here? So if you haven't ever heard of us or know the show or anything else, coming up, I hope it's a special treat for you, as it is for us, a special live performance of something that I think will make your day a little brighter. Coming up a little later. But first, also, we're going to... No, sir. I'm going to run you in right now. Also, we're going to hear from a liberal TikToker. You'll hear her complaining about not finding an old-fashioned man because the liberals don't become old-fashioned men anymore. You'll hear here in a second. First of all, we got to talk about the Braves game. Holy smokes! Now I admit I didn't last. I didn't last till the end. I mean, I didn't. I'm sorry. Oh no. Yeah, like I've never heard that before in my younger days. But again, I'm up at at 1 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I finally get out of bed around 5:50. So it's not like I'm staying up till 11 or 12 watching ball games. You know what I mean? Anyway, what a game! Pete Davis taking over, and you're going to hear not only a little bit about the game, which is kind of cool, but also a threat. Did you see this on social media against the city of Atlanta and our players coming up in a second? First, Pete Davis, what a game. I assume you watched the thing, and what do you think about the highlights and how the Braves are doing, especially against these Mets?
They pretty much buried the Mets. I'm not going to say it's over, but it's pretty much over. And if you ever want to entertain yourself, every time the Braves beat the Mets, check out the New York tabloids because they're just beside themselves. Chris Russo on MLB Network, his head is exploding. Of course, he's not there today.
Consider one of the old timers, which I find amazing.
One of the funniest is when Greg Maddux called in and they talked about Chipper's first game and how he bumped into him on that fly ball, and Maddux had given him every name in the book after that.
Yeah, and Maddux was one of the great practical jokers of all time, and they never really revealed all the things he did, but apparently he was like the ace of it. Anyway, Pete, I interrupted you. More about the ball game, and you're going to hear part of it, and then after. Anyway, keep going. What'd you think?
The way it ended, I mean, that's the first time the Braves have ever done that pretty much in their franchise history, to come back like that 3 straight games. It's the first time the Mets had ever lost 3 straight games by leading at least by 3 runs during those games. It was basically, the New York Post labeled it Atlanta Graves. That they come here and they die. And they do. The Braves have won the last 8 or so they played against them.
Now, here's one of the great calls, Flounder, if you will, from last night's game.
2 on, 2 out, the pitch. Swung on, belted, deep right field. Get out of here, Ozzie. Home run. Ball game.
And again, was it Harris who hit, I'm trying to remember who hit the one that got us into the ball game a couple innings earlier.
Arcia tied the game up in the 9th.
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. I see. Anyway, what a great game. What a great result. And very, very exciting. Now, because of the Mets, one of the guys who, one of the big monster hitters in pro baseball these days is this guy Alonso. Pete, tell the story about him. And you saw, I don't know whether you saw it on social media, but this is really kind of going over the line to me. Tell what's the story with this guy?
Well, he started it in the first game. He hit a home run off Bryce Elder, and then he got back in the dugout, and he starts yelling, throw it again, throw it again. Well, as the Braves came back later in the game, and Bryce Elder set down 10 in a row pretty much after that and helped keep the Braves in the game, the fans started getting on him, yelling, throw it again, throw it again. Well, then the second game, it was the first or second he got hit in the wrist. The second game, I believe. He got hit in the wrist, and he's going to be out.
Yeah.
He's going to be out for a little bit because they don't know exactly what's going on here. And so they're on him again for that while he's in the dugout. They're yelling at him. So basically, either before or after last night's game, he basically came out and threatened fans that basically he would physically hurt them.
Here's his actual sound right here.
Yeah.
I'm a big, strong guy. They don't know like my temper. They don't know what I could do. I mean, if I wanted to put someone in the hospital, I easily could.
My God.
Hey, look at you play in New York. To some of the worst fans, that are the most abusive fans to not only the players, but the players' families and fans in the stands. And your thin skin can't take the nicest fan base in America, outside of maybe Minnesota, from getting on you. Your skin is so thin that I want to know what the commissioner's office has to say about physically threatened.
I can't believe we haven't heard an announcement from the commissioner's office suspending him immediately. He's threatening to put people in the hospital.
It's a bad look for baseball.
God.
Bad look. It's like NBA stuff when they go into the
pulling
crowd.
a gun at a locker room or something. Unbelievable. Anyway.
Thin skin.
All right, 3:15. Hold on. Pete's couple. We got more stuff. Also, the liberal TikToker who's looking for a man. Me and you, baby. Also, live performance I think you'll never forget. Standing by next for the Kimmer Show. Look out. 3:15 Extra 106.3. Look out.
these streets so long, singing the same old song.
319.
I know every crack in these dirty sidewalks of Broadway.
Glenn Campbell, one of the most entertaining and enjoyable interviews I've ever done in my life in 55 years. Now, you keep playing 55 years of broadcasting. Was when Glenn Campbell came into the studio in the 90s, and I think it was 2000 or so, with his guitar. And we sat there for, I might have been the whole show was over now, a long time, and he talked about his life and his music. And who was that little Coke girl that country girl used to,
Tanya Tucker.
Tanya Tucker. And she got him involved in cocaine, and then he finally, what a story. And what a brilliant, he was a session musician. He was just a guitar player. And he'd played for the Beach Boys. A studio musician. And somebody said, well, you're a good singer. And boom, bam, and there you go. Anyway, Glenn Campbell, and this song, this is for my little girl, Jennifer, my firstborn clonkhead. Because when I was, I shouldn't say this because now I'm getting emotional. As a little girl, when I would drive her places, she would want to hear Rhinestone Cowboy, Daddy, Rhinestone Cowboy. So I got the tape and I'd play it for her whenever we got in the car. So that was pretty fun. Anyway, so that's for you, sweetie, in case you're listening, Glenn Campbell. All right.
I hope you got the Glenn Campbell story out of your system for 3 months.
Bingo stories galore this week.
Isn't it funny? I'm getting emotional. I don't, of course, first week back. And by the way, I thought about this. I just hit the head before I came in, and I thought to myself, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm walking down the hallway to go hit the head, and I'm thinking to myself, I told the people, don't forget, I've been back to work 5 days after 10 years. The last 10 years ago, after work at 5 days, I had a heart attack. So this is my 5th day. So this weekend, I theoretically might have another heart attack. So again, there's an over-under on will I live or not? When's it going to happen? And we'll get back to you and see if there's a prize. Anyway, quick birthday note here. Michael Andrew Fox is 62 today. Michael Andrew Fox is the actor you know as Michael J. Fox. But Michael J. Fox is from Canada. And he did not want his stage name to be Michael A. Fox because he thought people might say, Michael A.? Like, what are you doing, eh? Like the Canadian A at the end of a sentence. So he just picked the letter J, which means nothing. He has Michael J. Fox is Michael A. Fox. Anyway, let's see. And hey, Pete, we're trying to pick out some jokes to do for you, but they're really underpriced. So what's the punchline, Pete?
Honestly, officer, I was just helping this sheep over the fence.
And now, something you'll really enjoy. I don't know whether you saw this story, and I didn't see her live, but I've seen it since then, of a woman who is a self-described liberal, self-possessed liberal. She has polarizing posts all the time, and she came out last night complaining that when she wants to find a real man, she can't find a real man who's not a liberal, or who is a liberal. She can't find a real man who also is a liberal. All the real men she finds are conservative. Mm-hmm. And in fact, she says she's in Los Angeles. Her name is something like MS Petch. I don't know what that means. Anyway, she's a TikTok chick, and she says it's so hard to find, as a liberal woman, hard to find a man who I think should be the kind of man I'm looking for. In fact, let's play her side. Here's what she says about what she's looking for and what her problem is.
Do you want to know one of the saddest realizations I recently had? Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age, who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence. And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role. And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man.
Please.
But am I asking to have my cake and eat it too?
She doesn't know what she wants.
All right, we need some opinions here, especially from some Kimmer babes. Particularly if you're a female, and particularly if you're liberal. I'd love to hear from liberal females, although you probably would not want to admit that you're listening. But here's our number, 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. If you're listening on the app, when you call, as soon as you get on hold, you'll be back to hear the radio station again, so you're not going to miss anything while you're making the phone call, except as soon as it's answered. So, 404-741-1230. I'd love to, or guys too. In fact, I think this has nothing to do with politics. This has I think it's just old, a difference in generations. The other day at the post office, I got to the door and there was a woman coming out, and she got to the door and she started opening the door and she kind of stood aside. And I said, "Oh, no. I said, "You first, ma'am." I said, "My mother, dear mother up in heaven would, come down to haunt me if I didn't, you always hold the door for a lady." If a woman enters a room, you stand up. If you're sitting down and a lady enters a room, get up. You hold the door for a woman every time. You walk on the outside on a curb closer to the cars to protect her. You have a clean handkerchief in your pocket in case you have the sniffly whipplies. You hold her chair for her at dinner. I was a family of 7, 5 kids, and we stood at the chairs and held the chair for our mother and our sister until they sat down. And then just basic, manners. Nobody does. I don't suppose anybody even eats dinner together anymore. We ate at the formal dining room in our house every single night for dinner, family dinner, formal dining room.
It's liberals like her and her ilk that have created these generations of soy boy beta males who are afraid of women and don't know what to do and hold the door because they're afraid they'll be barked at like it matters. And then what conservative man would want to put up with her? He has to play a role, but she doesn't. She's independent. She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah. The whole, in fact, your point is the exact perfect point. You asked for this.
Yeah.
You have been taking away the masculinity of American males for decades, for particularly, really, only in this whole woke business, 4, 5, 6 years? This is relatively new. And again, it's your own damn fault. Again, remember, the communist Chinese are teaching their young boys how to be men. They're giving them masculinity, tough guy lessons when they're like 7. And we're in America, the biggest thing in America now is that a little boy knows, well, I guess I could be a girl if I want to, instead of learning how to, sharpen a stick and go try to kill a chipmunk or something. I don't know. That's a bad idea. I don't say you should do it. I'm just saying, some of you want to think, we couldn't wait to go out in the woods and throw spears and throw rocks at each other, play war. What the hell is going on here in America all of a sudden? And then this woman complained, well, I can't find a man who wants to pick up the check. Well, maybe because you offended the last guy who tried to pick up the check, and he said, I can pay my own way now, mister, or I can get my own door. Oh, yeah? How about kiss my foot, get your own door the rest of your stinking miserable life? How about that? Yeah, sorry.
No one wants to put out. You know what, an interesting thing I saw last night? Buck Showalter, after the game, was talking about how proud he was of his team. He said, look, we fired all of our bullets. And then he stopped and said, well, I guess I should say arrows.
Oh, God.
And the New York Post article quoted him and said arrows, not bullets.
Oh, wouldn't want to say bullet out loud because there might be somebody offended.
Yeah.
Oh my God. She's complaining. She says all these men out there wanting to split the bill on the first date. What? Yeah, no kidding, because you made him. Yeah, you're asking to have your cake and eat it too. What the hell's the matter with you? What is wrong with you, lady? You're not. Yeah. Oh God.
My great grandmother pointed it out. She would always say, "You made your bed hard, now lay in it."
I'm going to tell you, when I was in San Francisco decades ago for a very short period of time, and I hated it because we were afraid to talk to a girl, try to pick up a girl. It wasn't going to work. And there was one incident. There was this young lady, a little like Hispanic Asian kind of beautiful girl, and she had kind of a boyfriend, but she was flirting with me all the time, and I'm man, and she lived in the same apartment complex I did, and she actually one time made me cookies, knocked on my door and gave me a bag of cookies, and I said, oh my God, she was just very sweet. One time I was in the office paying a bill or something, or doing something in the office, which also was near the workout area and the indoor pool, and I saw this girl, and she was kind of flirty with me, even though she had a boyfriend, and I saw this girl at the pool she came out of the pool with 3 of her girlfriends, so there's 4 girls standing and they're wearing towels and bathing suits. And I went up. I couldn't believe I did this. I went up. This is San Francisco. I went up to her, and I said, "Excuse me, ladies." And I put my arms around her. I grabbed her and kind of bent her over and kissed her on the cheek, kind of laughingly, jokingly. And she started giggling like crazy. And I said, "Come on, 1 weekend. Just give me 1 weekend. You don't even get your stuff. We'll leave right now. I'll take care of everything. 1 weekend, please. I swear to God." And the other girls are going, oh, like that. And she was swooning. And then she kind of laughed. And I looked at her and I said, "You've got the cutest little feet I've ever seen, you little bear." I said, "Oh, I can't believe how cute you are." And the girls are going, and they were swooning that they were saying, "Oh my God, there's a freaking man who's not afraid to, do something funny and crazy and outrageous." It wasn't offensive. She was a man's woman. She got it. And it was one of the most glorious things I've ever done in my life. And those other three girls were saying to themselves, "Oh my God, there's at least one man left in San Francisco." Anyway.
Please don't do that in the office up there while I'm not there.
At 3:30. They've all gone. In fact, they just fled. Sorry, girls. Look out. one of the most beautiful tunes I used to love. I'll have you put on my. I keep forgetting to bring in my magic stick. Crap! I've got it. Oh, crap! My music stick is Kathy's song. Love that tune, Kathy's song by Paul Simon. Anyway, nice to have you aboard. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer, 336. Well, hold on, Barry. Oh, we lost Barry. Barry's going to call back, though. Here's a phone number. I'd love to get your feedback, especially liberal women. If you're probably embarrassed to call. And again, I think...
I'm sure they're listening, too.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they tuned me in. Well, I think they're keeping track. I think they want to know where I am, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Or anybody, and for that matter. I mean, we just love phone calls. It's Let It Rip Friday. Have a ball. Oh, by the way, I did find yesterday, I mentioned yesterday that I spent a lot of time looking up my birthdays and history and all that stuff, and then I left it home. Well, I brought it in today. One of the birthdays I wanted to mention yesterday and didn't because I didn't have it here was James Darren. You know the name James Darren, Flounder?
I do not.
Pete, you know the
James Darren story.
Here comes the James Darren story. That's correct. Well, I have to say it because, this was really a fun thing, and it was a long time ago. James Darren is 87 years old. James Darren was the guy, the shortish, good-looking, dark-haired guy who played in all the Disney movies and all the, he was a singer, he was a producer, he was an actor. He sang, in fact, see if you can find a James Darren song. There was one about the king and or the King and I or the Queen and I or something, a very famous song. And he was an actor. He was in a whole bunch of like Disney type movies, Robinson Crusoe Family or Stranded on an Island or 20,000 Leagues Island, whatever those movies were. Anyway, so he was a big actor back in the 50s and 60s. Okay, fast forward and I guess early 70s too. Fast forward into the 90s, and Pete Davis and I are doing a show in the afternoons, and I'm taking phone calls, and all of a sudden I get a phone call from a guy named James. And I take him on the air, and we're talking a while, and he says, yes, this is James Darren, the producer. And I said, wait a minute, James Darren, the rock and roll hit song singer and actor, famous actor?
There she goes, her royal
the Queen, Major Royal Majesty.
She's the queen that broke my heart.
Anyway, that's James Darren, and he called. He was doing a movie, I think, in Athens, and he was listening to my show. And I said, "Wait a minute, James Darren from the famous is listening to my show, doing a movie in Athens, Georgia." I couldn't believe it. I was so flattered and flabbergasted, and I think I probably said, "I want to be in it. How do I get it? I just want to walk in the scene or something."
No, not again. No more begging. Tony Shalhoub's
sister called in, and I said, I want to get on the show. How do I get on the show? It was the worst interview I've ever done, ever. Oh, it was horrible. I was terrible. I was so flabbergasted. I just made a total fool out of myself.
I break out in cold sweats, and I was sitting beside you thinking about that.
You were trying to shut me up. Let her talk. I don't think I ever let her answer a question. Oh, it was awful.
I'll just sit quietly in the corner. I don't even have to say anything.
But again, I was flabbergasted, and she was a listener, Tony Shalhoub's sister. Of all the... Anyway. And one more other birthday I didn't leave out the head and have yesterday, Pete, you'll appreciate this, is Derek Trucks. 44, Allman Brothers, Tedeschi Trucks. Derek Trucks, 44 years old. And it was the Federal Gestapo investigation on yesterday, 1949, released their list of Hollywood stars who were members of the Communist Party, including Edward G. Robinson, John Garfield, and Frederick March, who was a huge star back then in 1949. And and the people who were also linked with them as linked to the Communist Party included Danny Kaye and Helen Keller, because they were anti-nuclear war after the explosions of the end of World War II. Anyway, just for the record.
Where's Moses now?
Yeah. Truly, he is the Son of God. John Wayne with his little skirt and helmet. One more, and the thing I mentioned, the sports thing yesterday, Pete. Sorry to be all distracting here. It was 1934. The Reds became the first Major League Baseball team flying an airplane one city to another. It was 1961 when the Milwaukee Braves set the record in the seventh inning. 4 players in a row hit home runs. Why didn't they take the picture out anyway? And it was 1969 the Yankees retired Mickey Mantle's number. So those were those are the things from yesterday, I thought. And we don't know the joke, but the punchline is, if only Princess Margaret were here, we might have saved the Bentley. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, 41. If we got five, we've got boys, we have time. Flounder, Pete, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Flounder, are you ready?
Oh, here we go.
We're ready.
Find it. Yeah.
Let's go. Welcome to another edition of the Kimmer's Rainy Day Theater Playhouse, where we bring together our special team of thespian entertainers who generously give of themselves for one reason: to bring the joy of live theater excitement to you, the little people. Our performance today is sponsored by Gliegman's Flams. If you need flams, you need Gliegman's, because words mean something. But it is our selfless academy of actors who have the sensitivity and grace to show you the difference between "let's eat, Grandma" and "let's eat, Grandma." What's that on the road ahead? But now to our story. The setting, Anywhere, USA. The time is now. Two buddies catching up, and one of them, a sniveling Democrat, is down in the dumps.
I asked my girlfriend to meet me at the gym today.
Hold on a second. Keep going. I was just pausing for the musical intro. He is now a sniveling Democrat down in the dumps. His girlfriend is driving him nuts, and he suspects she's up to something, because in a hazy memory from a recent neighborhood party, he remembers overhearing her say he was a better kisser than all his golfing buddies. And now he has perhaps more evidence that the love of his life is a naughty nightmare. He can't hold it in anymore as he turns to his friend, and choking back the emotions of the moment, he nearly breaks down.
I asked my girlfriend to meet me at the gym today, but she didn't show up, and she's not answering her phone.
Well, you know what that means.
No, what?
You two aren't going to work out.
And scene! You remembered. Oh, I can't believe it. It's just, I can't speak. The gift we bring from our hearts to you comes back tenfold, my precious angels. You missed us. But now, for a moment, we must salute the players and the members of our art direction team, including the man who found out why cannibals don't like divorced women. Too bitter. He only had one regret when I say too bitter. So he only had one regret when he gave his wife a pocket calculator for her birthday, but found out that she is known for a long time exactly how many pockets she already has. He's so religious that if you say holy mackerel, you better be holding a trout that was blessed by the Pope. He's not a slug, he's not a lug, he's our tug. And the secretive sky boy who claims he went on vacation and got lovesick. Yeah, lovesick, that's what doctors call chlamydia. He dumped his last girlfriend after she showed up at the front door wearing a sexy negligee. Unfortunately, she was coming home at the time. I say she was coming home at the time.
I heard you.
Well, that's what I was afraid. He once asked Alexa, "What do women want?" And she hasn't shut up for 9 days. And then there was that one fiance who was a really good impressionist. She did everyone. The sports raconteur, Pete Davis. And what can we say for the lanky lad sitting in the dark who had a girlfriend he called a treasure, but when he caught her cheating, I think he called her that because she had to use a map and a shovel to go find her. Now, that's nothing. He had one really nasty chick who bitched all the time that he needed to be more affectionate. So then he got two girlfriends. He saw a couple holding hands while he was out jogging the other day, and it made him hopeful that one day he could find someone that would also hate those people too. What the heck? The smell of the Big Mac in his car lasted longer than his last girlfriend. The Wizard of Widgets, the mechanical mangler, Flounder. And alas, my dear, adoring friends, as the stage lights dim and our exhausted cast and crew adjourn to the after-show party where the Kimmer Time dancers are already waiting for us to help them put on their high heels, and we begin to remove our makeup and most of our standards, I can only speak in barely a whisper for the rush of emotion you have given us today without even knowing it, and it makes us feel even more dedicated to our goal, bringing a spark of life and hope and maybe a tiny tingle of what we must call love to you, the little people, with an edition of the Kimmer's Rainy Day Theater Playhouse. 346, look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer and Pete and Flounder on 106.3. Look out, herp and a herp. Look out. How you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer 351. Hold on, Scotty. Here's the number, 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. It's only the Kimmer, Pete Davis and Flounder at the controls till 6 o'clock. And you're going to hear from Donald Trump and President showers with daughter and Tucker Carlson. And you're also going to hear a whole bunch of things coming up later on, including your phone calls. And we'll do Holy Crap at Sports. And we've got just a bunch of things coming up between now and 6 o'clock. All right. And Donald Trump's coming up. First, it's Scotty, the window guy, on the horn. Scotty, thanks for calling, man. How's it going? What's up?
Flush the line, flashback. Did I tell you a joke about the ceiling?
Did you what now?
Did I tell you the joke about the ceiling?
The joke about the ceiling. Is this a joke you tell?
Way over your head.
Way over my head, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Scotty. Yes, that would be wonderful. Yes. Okay. Well, by the way, did I mention, was that Jimi Hendrix you were playing, Flounder? I'm still losing my head in here, and I forgot to mention we were playing Jimi Hendrix. From 2015, they had secured the licensing rights to manufacture marijuana and hemp products using song titles bearing the likeness of Jimi Hendrix. All right, there we go. Should we do, we're going to hear from Donald Trump in a second. How about little Pete's tweets? Can we do a little twiddly-pipply? Here we go. Yeah, let's start that. 3:53 with Pete Davis. What's going on in the world of social media?
Well, SWAT Tune has decided to send us a poem.
SWAT Tune. All right, don't know what that is.
SWAT Tune, yes. Basically, it says, here's the rhyme, because I think the other day you were asking for things to rhyme. You haven't got your rhymes down yet for XTRA 106.3?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. And?
For a talk show that's sure to please, with topics that are hot and opinions that are not, you'll be entertained with ease.
Okay.
Doesn't pass the.
Well, I was thinking of something like, the dorky 940 or so, is some kind of a thing of a slip.
We'll keep working on that.
106.3, I don't know. Anyway.
Not the B tweets that corporations like Mercedes-Benz and Cisco changed their logos for Pride Month, except in the Middle East again.
Oh, I'll be darned. I wonder why that is. They don't want to be thrown off a building, that's why, with their hands tied behind their back.
When it's easy to have scruples, they can do it, but when it's hard, they actually have to fight for something, no, they're not going to get anywhere near it on there. All right, Gary tweets, I once lived just a stone's throw away from a family who all died of mysterious head injuries.
Yeah.
Is a stone's throw away.
Thank you.
See. I'm loving to you underhanded here, son. And finally, Daryl tweets, everyone's an atheist until they clog a toilet at somebody else's house.
Have you ever done that?
Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah. Oh, man.
You got to reach and grab the back of it.
Go down, the water's rising.
Oh, please. Or a girlfriend. The first time you're over at a girlfriend's house and it starts to rise.
Yeah, that's out the window. To the phones, it's Rick the Painter on 106.3 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Hello, Rick. How's it going?
Hey, Kimmer. Just want to follow up with Scotty the window guy there.
Yeah.
Did you hear the one about the bed?
The bed? No.
Yeah. That's because it ain't been made up yet.
Haven't made up yet, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. 3:55. That's where it's going to be, eh? That's okay with me.
So what's going on with President Trump?
Well, here we go. This is an incredible. This is like the Saturday Night Massacre. I sat there last night, and when it was all unfolding, and then the comments and so forth, Donald Trump has been indicted. The first time ever a former president or sitting president has ever been indicted on a federal charge like this ever in American history. As far as I'm concerned, this may put everything over the top about the future of the election. Donald Trump has been indicted on dozens of counts: obstruction of justice, conspiracy, illegal retention of classified material, including some of the stuff is like related related to spying and using military information of foreign countries and Pentagon programs and so forth. It's unfreaking believable. Here's a little bit of the comments. Donald Trump went on his Truth Social last night to once again say this is a crock.
So I just want to tell you, I'm an innocent man. I did nothing wrong. And we will fight this out just like we've been fighting for 7 years. It would be wonderful if we could devote our full time to making America great again. And that's exactly what we did. But now, again, our country is in decline. We're a failing nation. And this is what they do. I'm an innocent man. We will prove that again. 7 years of proving it. And here we go again. Very unfair. But that's the way it is. I just want to thank everybody. We are doing something very special for our country. We're putting America first. I always put America first.
He went on to, this is the most corrupt administration in history. There has never been an administration so corrupt. They're starting to find it right now. They're trying to deflect all of their dishonesty by bringing this ridiculous boxes hoax case forward. They're not going to get away with it. And let's remember that it was Merrick Garland who, again, was denied his chance to be on the United States Supreme Court. And ever since then, he's been trying to get back at conservatives. And the timing of this was the only possible explanation was that was coming out at the same time. We'll talk more about this a little later on. Was that the Biden family, President Crime family, made a deal with a Burisma people. Remember, who hired Hunter, who has no any knowledge of any kind, for Burisma for $10 million, $5 million to Hunter, $5 million to big time the top guy as a retainer for potential things in the future, including when the vice president demanded that the investigator into Burisma and his son be eliminated, which they did. And remember, Biden bragged about getting the guy to lay off his son being investigated at Burisma overseas in Ukraine. By the way, the Burisma, the human source in this document they've been fighting the FBI for, the FGI, the Federal Gestapo investigation. The Burisma executive who was involved in telling about this stuff answered a question referring to Hunter Biden as dumb. The source said the Burisma guy had to pay the Bidens because Ukrainian prosecutor Shokin was investigating Burisma and explained how difficult it would be to enter the U.S. market in the midst of an investigation. They detailed the conversation, suggesting to the Burisma executive, quote, that he pay the Bidens $50,000 each. The Burisma executive replied, no, it's not $50,000, it's $5 million. $5 million, quote, $5 million for one Biden, $5 million for the other Biden. It's a retainer that is intended to pay the Bidens to deal with a number of issues, including the arrangement as a pay-to-play scheme, and that's when they got rid of the prosecutor who was looking into it. What more evidence do you need? Holy smokes! It was the Saturday Night Massacre of October 20th, 1973, and I was covering that story, and I called Senator Herman Talmadge, and we'll tell you about that coming up after the news at 4. The 106.3 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Look out, here we go. Look out. Oh, mercy. How come I don't hear anything? There we go. Hey, man, at 4:03, look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with the Bee Gees. And it was 1979. The Bee Gees went to number 1 on the singles chart with Love You Inside Out. I'm going to play a little bit of it. Here. Man, they had worse teeth than the Kennedys. Poor boy. I guess aren't they all dead? I think they all died early.
No, we got one left, I think.
Barry's still around, or one of them, I can't remember.
Barry.
Yeah, they had teeth like the Kennedys. Just horrible, poor bastards.
Maybe they're all dead. I don't know.
They're probably all dead. I don't know. Anyway, whatever the thing there. All right, look, by a quick birthday or two, that magnificent little Natalie Portman, and I had a crush on her when I was 12. 42 years old today. No, I
Keep moving.
for 12 years, I've had a crush on her since she was 30. That's what I said. And Johnny Depp is 60. I don't know why I find that amusing. All right, hold everything. And don't forget, I'm not sure of the whole story, but like they say, well, you ought to be here when he makes the donuts. Oh, sorry. Anyway. We can't tell the jokes, but we can, by God, tell the punchline. 4:04. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder, and I can't. I was just nuts last night when the story started to break about the official indictment of Donald Trump. This is, for the record, the fact of the matter is this is the biggest interference in an election campaign in the history of our nation, perhaps the history of the world. This is the kind of thing they do in Cuba or Russia or Iron Curtain countries. This is the kind of thing that's never happened in America before. What is this, like the fourth thing now they got Donald Trump for? They impeached him because he wanted the Ukrainians to investigate Burisma. They impeached him for that, but it was okay for the vice president to demand that Burisma stop being investigated by the prosecutor. That was okay, but when Trump said, gee, you ought to investigate that, they impeached him. They impeached him twice. He was found innocent, but still, and this is another one. And it's just on and on and on. In fact, now there's a story now. This is unbelievable. You know, Donald Trump this weekend, tomorrow afternoon, he's giving a speech at the big GOP convention coming up this weekend in Columbus. And Donald Trump is going to speak tomorrow afternoon so that chicken-livered little coward Fannie Willis who took over from the other scumbag little chicken-livered Fulton County DA who got bolted out of office finally, and the little chicken-livered Fannie, I don't want to take a case against a black guy because then they'll think I'm a racist, so we can let the black guys get away with it, you freaking little coward. And she's already she's going to have watchdogs looking at every single word that Donald Trump says in his speech this weekend in case she can pursue more charges against him. They are going to, quote, take great note about what he says. Come on. It's right there.
Coming after the First Amendment.
It's unbelievable.
Well, the question is with this happening, does the Republican Party as a whole get behind Trump? Even DeSantis?
Well, what do you think? Here's the number. We'd love to hear what you think. 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. This reminds me of the Saturday Night Massacre. And for the record, I won't dwell on this a lot because it happened in 1973. But I was a reporter here in Atlanta. I was working the weekend shift, Saturday night and Sunday night shift. And the Saturday Night Massacre happened, and it was on October 20th, 1973, during the Watergate scandal. Richard Nixon was the president. His attorney general was Elliot Richardson. During the Watergate investigation, there was a special prosecutor named Archibald Cox. Archibald Cox, the special prosecutor, was getting to the bottom of the Watergate issue. Richard Nixon didn't want him to get to the bottom, so Richard Nixon told the attorney general, Elliot Richardson, to fire the special prosecutor. Elliot Richardson refused to fire the special prosecutor, and Elliot Richardson resigned instead. So Nixon said, let's go to number 2. Nixon went to the Deputy Attorney General, William Ruckelshaus, fire the special prosecutor. Ruckelshaus said, no, I'm not going to do it, and he quit. So Nixon went to number 3. Number 3, if you're a newsy guy, you know this name, Robert Bork. Robert Bork was the Solicitor General who was also put up to be a member of the Supreme Court and got rejected, so he was none too happy about it. So the number 3 guy in line at the Justice Department, Robert Bork, did fire the special prosecutor Archibald Cox, and then he was going to quit also. However, apparently Elliot Richardson and Ruckelshaus both went to him and said, you really should stay there for the good of the Justice Department. But again, this all happened on Saturday night. Now, you may, if you're a newcomer or a young person, you may not even have heard the name Herman Talmadge. The name Talmadge in Georgia is a monster name. Herman Talmadge was a long time senator. He was also famous for being, he had a little problem with John Barleycorn every once in a while. He was something of a drinker. In fact, I remember, Pete, correct me if I'm wrong here. As I recall, one night his wife, they were having a fight or something, in a drunken rage or something, and his wife discovered that he had a couple of $100,000 in $20 bills in a closet or something. I mean,
it was in his coat pocket in the closet.
in a coat or something. And anyway, Herman Talmadge, this is 1973. Herman Talmadge from Georgia, and he was a huge name. It was a monster name, a big time family. He was on the Watergate Committee. I was a reporter in 1973 here in Atlanta, so I called him at home, and I got him. And I said, Senator Talmadge, they're calling it the Saturday Night Massacre, where you find so-and-so and so-and-so. Can I get I want to roll a tape recorder here and get your opinion about what happened with the Saturday Night Massacre, because it was the big topic. And he said, and I can't do his accent justice. So, well, it wouldn't really be fair as a member of the Watergate Committee for me to make a comment now as a member of the committee. And I said, well, if you were able to make a comment, what would it be? I swear to God I did that. I said, if you were able to comment, what would you like to say? Well, I'd say this is the most despicable thing I've ever heard. And he went on to give me a great I swear to God, I'm not making that up. And I said, well, if you could say something, what would you? He said, well, I was disgusted at the time. And I've been going, really, this is great. And it was a great soundbite of Herman Talmadge. But again, the reaction, and I thought about that last night. The Saturday Night Massacre, this was a deliberate attempt to protect the President of the United States. And the only reason, again, Merrick Garland was the person who determined when they would make the announcement of the indictment. Why did they do it yesterday? What's the hurry? They could have done it today, next week, next month. The planning of this was to deflect from the news of yesterday and the day before that the Bidens were getting $10 million from Burisma. And it was all, how can you say anything other than it being political, since he was the one to determine when they would announce it and take the pressure and the news media coverage off the Biden crime family? I'm going to throw up. I'm so angry about this. And this may make a difference about an actual insurrection. And if they put him in, by the way, I swear to God, Roberto, you're going to get right here in a second. If they put him in prison, holy smokes. Now, here's the other thing, and then we'll get right to Roberto. Here's the possibility. Donald Trump could still be elected president and still be convicted. And if he's elected president and is convicted, he could pardon himself. It's true. It's true.
Yes.
If he's elected president before they ever get to trial, or even if he is convicted, and people still, if he's still elected, he can pardon himself. And so, this is unbelievable. Anyway, here's Roberto on 106.3. Roberto, thanks for holding. Welcome aboard. What do you think about all this, sir?
Hey, new listener. Really enjoying it so far.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Now, I would say the indictments, okay, they are what they are. If they find him guilty of something, then they find him guilty. But I think the Republican candidates, the other candidates, are going to try to distance themselves and not try to say a lot of negative stuff, except for maybe Pence. I think Pence will pounce.
Well, I don't know what's the problem is, as you know, Georgia Republicans are, and all American Republicans are in a state of flux right now. I'm not sure where we're going or what we're doing or whether we're really all together like the Democrats because all what they want to do is win. They don't care how, they just want to win, and we don't have that same attitude. And I think the best thing for them to do would be for all of them to say, and I think even Pence said this is wrong. Politically going after a candidate and a former president for political reasons is is wrong. I don't care who you are. I don't care whether you like them or not. It's just a wrong thing. That, I think, should be a universal, unanimous proposal by the other candidates, not to agree. Well, maybe they do. Maybe they think he should be indicted and go to prison. If they do, they should say so. But I think they at least need to stick together on that. Now, do you think it makes Donald Trump a better, a more winnable candidate now, Roberto?
I think it's still the same witch hunt they've been going on for several years.
Yeah. Do you think Donald Trump has a better chance of winning now because of this?
I think it might turn him into sort of a martyr. I think that does give him a boost in the ratings, so to speak.
Yeah. Listen, thank you. I really appreciate it, and I hope you keep listening and that we entertain you in any way possible. And call us back anytime. We appreciate it. Have a great day. 4-0.
Sorry, I hung up on him.
No problem. Okay.
You bastard!
You rotten, dirty. No, okay. Now, for the record, we've got a break coming up, so I'll explain this right now. Everything's new. The stuff is new. The equipment's new. Pete's over here. I'm over here. He's over there. So we're working it all together. So hang loose. All right, 4:14. It's only the Kimmer and Pete and Flounder on 106.3 or something. I don't know. Look out. It's only the Kimmer.
Came in quick on that one.
That's what she said.
Shut up back there.
Hold everything. Coming back with the Stones. And don't forget, you need a safe, and you need the Atlanta Safe House to take care of your private stuff and things you want to take care of at your AtlantaSafeHouse.com. They've got the big red safe, gun safe special all this month. Tell them the Kimmer sent you. It's where I got my safes. I got one from my last producer, too. All right, Pete, I guess I owe you one as well. AtlantaSafeHouse.com. Here are the Stones. And on this day in 1978, they released Some Girls, their first studio album recorded with Ronnie Wood as a full-time member. Well, the cover was a garish drag alongside several female celebrities in lingerie. Well, the cover immediately, if you recall, ran into trouble because Lucille Ball, Farrah Fawcett, Liza Minnelli, Judy Garland's representative as she was dead, Raquel Welch, and Marilyn Monroe's estate all threatened to sue the Rolling Stones because of the cover of the Sexy Girls in Lingerie. Oh, well, that's all right. Rolling Stones. 1978. It's all good. Hey, Pete, what's the punchline?
Well, the midget was on fire when I got here.
Actually, the first part of that's right. You know where that came from? Do you even know where that came from?
Yeah, you tell it.
Ludlow Porch. And Ludlow Porch, this had to be in the 70s. And actually, the full quote is, "That's not my wife, officer, and the midget was on fire when I got here." So you left out the first part. I remember that from like 1972 or something. Ludlow Porch, the old jarhead who used to do the Blue Ribbon Grill and have Marine Corps birthdays and stuff. And anyway, great old history stuff for Atlanta. Quick birthday of note, Teddy Bruschi. Teddy Bruschi, the former linebacker for the Patriots in New England, is now coach for the Arizona Wildcats. Wildcats? Who are the Arizona Wildcats?
Either XFL or USFS. Well, actually, the Arizona Wildcats is the college team, isn't it?
No.
Yeah. The Arizona Wildcats are Arizona State's the Sun Devils, and Arizona's the
okay, I guess that's right.
Yeah.
I should have known that because I'm.
Yeah, didn't you go to Arizona State or something like that?
That's why he didn't know it.
No, I never went to college anywhere.
Yeah, you went to Arizona State. You didn't go to college.
Like I said, now wait a minute. I graduated with top honors, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
4 years and 2 years, working 7 days a week. I was dead. That was after the Marines. I was one dedicated son of a gun, I can tell you. Anyway.
Arizona State.
Arizona State, yeah.
The Alabama State of the West.
Thank you so much. Area code 40, here's our number, 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. We love your phone calls, yeah, especially Friday is Let It Rip Friday. Anything goes, kind of anything you hold over from before or comments you want to make. If you're a new listener, how we doing? And anything we can do to be better, make you happier, please let us know. Stuff you'd like to hear or talk about. More on this Donald Trump business. Again, you want to do confess? There you are. My head's exploding over the Donald Trump thing. I think they just won't stop. And again, when you realize, okay, Donald Trump, as far as we know, and this indictment's now been, I haven't read it because it just got opened up, so you can read it, but I haven't obviously got it. Donald Trump, as far as I know, did not destroy any classified documents. He did not destroy any evidence. Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage was subpoenaed for 30,000 emails in a federal investigation, and she erased them and acid washed her computer. So those emails are gone forever, even though they were under federal subpoena. So she was not only being investigated and they wanted her emails, she destroyed the evidence. And let's also remember that Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage, when she had her meeting with the FBI director and his buddies, she was never put under oath, and she had her lawyer. When they interviewed Donald Trump's former key top aide, and they said, "We want you to come in for an interview. You don't bring a lawyer, though. You don't really need a lawyer." And then they said, "Well, didn't you say something before and you changed your mind?" And that's how I can't think of his name now. The former Trump aide, they ruined him. He was the
General Flynn.
Yeah, Mike Flynn ruined his life. And they threatened his son. They said, if you don't admit to this stuff, we're going to arrest your son for his at the so-and-so. And he said, well, I misspoke an email or something. And for that, they ruined him. Yep. And yet Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage got away with everything. Jake Sullivan's still working in the White House, and he was the one who helped him with the coup. Jim Comey leaked special secret information to the media so they could have stories coming out to condemn Donald Trump. Comey gave it to the press. Got away with it. Comey was in charge of the let's have the guns go down to Mexico and kill one of our agents down there, no-talk gun charge thing guy, and he was held in contempt of Congress. Nothing happened. I mean, come on, what more evidence do you need? The Attorney General meets with Bill Clinton on the airplane at the tarmac, talk about his haircut and golf game, I guess, when they were doing the investigation. And please, you're killing me. All right, to the phones. It's Chuck. What's up, Chuck? Oh, sorry. On 106.3. How you doing, man?
Kimmer, welcome back again and again and again.
You're very kind. I actually can't believe it. We're having fun and we're on the radio. It's almost amazing.
It's been like living in the desert for 40 years.
Or a closet or something, yeah.
Fart cabbages and all that kind of stuff. Man, I miss that.
Well, we're going to see whether the boss missed it or not here probably any time. But I haven't got a lot of feedback, and there's nobody in the building at the moment because they got a lot of stuff going on around here and stuff. So I'm supposed to call in every day to see if they want me to come back. So I'll know by Monday if I'm still alive. This could be heart attack weekend for me.
You got a couple dozen of us listening. They'll keep you around.
Well, you are very kind, Chuck. Thanks, man. What are you doing? Are you doing anything this summer? Any family stuff or anything going on now we can travel again?
I'm on my starter wife still.
Oh, excellent. Good for you.
And we're going to take our 30th anniversary and just go for a drive.
Wow, good for you. Yeah, I'll drive you home. Outstanding. Congratulations. Honestly, 30 years is wonderful. I've been divorced for 20, so it's exactly the opposite. And that's why I'm still miserable. Anyway, good for you, Chuck. Thanks. Congratulations, my friend. Is that Jimmy? Hello, Jimmy. How's it going?
Great, Kimmer. Good to hear you on the radio again.
Can you believe it? I can't believe there must have been a mistake. I'm not even sure David Dickey really even knows this is happening. I mean, he's probably out of town on vacation, and they pulled it behind his back. Anyway,
we'll keep it a secret. What the hell?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What are you up to, my friend?
Dude, I got through cutting the grass, drinking a cold beer, listening to you on the radio.
Outstanding.
Life is good.
All right, man. Jimmy, you have a great weekend ahead of you, too, my friend. 426 on 106.3. Don, here's another thing that kills me. President showers with daughter, who is to me is now this is no longer a joke. The man is a walking disaster. He's a liar and a fraud and a fake. He's brain-addled to the point where he is untrustworthy. And he's still, have you noticed when he was giving his speech for the commencement stuff, he just yells. He thinks showing strong leadership is to yell. That's right, you got to do the right thing. No, that's not what a president does. He just yells at people. And he still is making a mockery of freedom of the press, of information, and of the responsibility of a president to communicate with the American people. He turns his back on reporters all the time. He laughs when they try to ask him questions when he's meeting with other people. Well, he was asked yesterday by a reporter concerning comments of Nancy Mace, a Republican congresswoman from South Carolina. He was meeting with a British guy here in Washington. And anyway, and he was taking questions. And this one, here's the question. You'll hear the question and then listen to his answer and tell me whether all that's been going on, the information, the $10 million, the Hunter laptop, all this stuff, all that's been going on here, you tell me whether this was a legitimate response by a president of the United States to this very serious question asked him yesterday.
Congresswoman Nancy Mace says there's damning evidence in the FBI file that you sold out the country. Do you have a response to the congressional Republicans?
Where's the money? I'm joking.
Mr. President,
it's a bunch of malarkey.
Where's the money? I'm joking. It's a bunch of malarkey. The reporter in response, where's the money? Well, the money is in those 20 different bank accounts of your 12 family members, including your freaking granddaughter who got a check for college from Uncle Ceausescu in Romania. Explain that one. How come nobody can have Biden explain? Okay, Mr. President Potato Head, can you explain why your granddaughter got money from a freaking guy in Romania? because of the Burisma contract? How do you link that? And by the way, how come there are LLCs set up by the dozen to hide the money? And by the way, what do you get? What did they get in return for paying you that money? What did LLC give you? What did you buy from them? What was the value of the money they gave you in return for what? What is their product? What is their service? What did they do? What is the nature of the company? Oh, I get it. It's just to hold your money until they transfer it to another holding company. This is unbelievable.
I'd like to volunteer our LLC for hiding their money anytime they'd like.
Kimmer Media LLC. We need your donations. Kimmer Media LLC. And by the way, we're not getting a lot of donations in the old post office box anymore either.
You're getting paid.
It's over. Anyway, all right, more coming up. I don't know. We got stuff. It's Friday. Let it rip. Anything goes. Having a little fun here with the Kimmer and Pete and Flounder on 106.3. It's 4:30. Look out. Look out, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer. How's it going? 434 with Pete Davis, Flounder, and Elvis. On this day, 1972, Elvis Presley made entertainment history by performing 4 sold-out shows at New York's Madison Square Garden. Among the people in the audience who went to those shows, music stars to watch Elvis included George Harrison, John Lennon, David Bowie, Bob Dylan, and Art Garfunkel. They recorded the whole thing, and the shows were became part of the Elvis as recorded at Madison Square Garden album, 1972. All right, here we go. Let's see. Birthdays include Dick Vitale, 84 years old today. Pete, is he still working?
Yeah, he's still doing ESPN stuff. Yeah.
Wow, good for him. And didn't he have cancer or a throat cancer or something?
Yeah, he's beat it at least once, maybe twice.
I had at least one round of something. He's 84. Good, God bless him, I'll tell you.
By the way, for the first time ever, Grover the groundhog has come all the way up here to the house. I don't know what he wants.
What was he like looking for you? Give him
We're
some
talking
food?
like 50 yards away from his home. He's never comes this far up here.
Well, have you got any like breadcrumbs or something, or vegetables, corn or something? Or
I don't. It looks like he's, a Mormon coming to knock on my front door here or something. You know?
Well, cool. And now I feel kind of bad that I used to shoot him when I was young.
Yeah.
Well, it was Brenda's. Her place. She had a ranch, and they, go for groundhogs. Make big holes in the ground, and they were affecting their livestock and horses and stuff. So she has to come over and shoot them, which I did. Anyway, sorry. I still have that 30-30 lever action Remington or a Winchester 30-30 model, whatever the famous one was. That rifle I still have right now in my closet. And I'll bet that thing is. I bought it in 1962. And it was used when I bought it, so it's probably 80 years old anyway. Oh well, and I can just shoot the eyes right out of a pumpkin there too. By the way, the punchline, is that you, Bubba? And now back to the actual Kimmer program here.
Herschel.
Oh, you Herschel. 106.3 here on the old Calabanga thing. 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. Now, President Scott, in fact, let's do, what were we going to do? We did your tweets. Do we have a little Skynet?
Skynet
coming up. Boom. And we'll talk more about the Biden thing and also how he's been under the press's thumb again too. But first, Skynet alert. Pete Davis.
Well, if you think this whole AI thing is something that only the nerds are using, or it's like your kids on the metaverse,
because I don't get it. I don't know anything about it.
Or it's MIT or Georgia Tech people handling it. Guess what?
Yeah. What?
It's about to come to your phone and your Mac or whatever you got in your house, because Facebook said yesterday it's coming to Instagram and Facebook.
Well, I thought we were trying to cut back on it.
No, AI is here to stay, and we're talking day to day. Something happens now, and it's going to totally revolutionize everything. Even though they're now warning you, look, it can be wrong. It could tell you something that's completely wrong, because as far as it knows, it's okay. It's right.
Okay.
So when you say they're going to be on social media, are you saying that AI are going to have their own Facebook and their own pages?
No. You will have generative AI text, image, and video generators that you can play with on Facebook and Instagram.
You mean it'll be like an app, and you hit it and then do what you want to do with the kind of thing?
You can make paintings on it. You can ask it to write you papers. You can ask it to make photos of things for you and put somebody else's face in there. You can have it put somebody's voice into somebody. You take Humphrey Bogart's voice and put it in a birthday greeting. That's what's coming.
Well, then no one will ever be able to trust anything they're looking up on their phone or their computer, period.
Ever again.
Ever.
Well, they don't. Well, you know what? All this talk about misinformation. Your whole life through history, everything has been either information or misinformation. Like you take your car in and he can't fix it. You take it to another mechanic. He goes, well, that guy didn't know what he was talking about. This is what's wrong with your car. Well, that other thing was misinformation. It's up to us to decide which is which. It's not up to the government or Zuckerberg or anything or AI. You have to, like Bortz just said, you have to make up your own mind and research your own stuff. You cannot get it from the media anymore.
But if this goes to your phone, I mean, once again, the cell phone is yesterday's cigarettes, and the problem is that when especially young people see it on their phone, oh, there it is, must be a lot of police brutality in our country. Now I see a cop beating a kid. I mean, so we're screwed. No one will ever be able to trust anything again you see or hear on your device.
Well, you shouldn't have been able to trust. How could you ever trust anything anyone ever told you before or anything you ever read before? Because you could find another book in the library, which would be 180 degrees different from what you just read. Your teachers from one class to the next would tell you something totally different. Philosophy, if you ever took a philosophy class, every philosopher was against what the other one guy did.
Oh man, I don't know what
it's always been here. The problem is we have less common sense anymore. We're not teaching that.
Well, we have more sheep, that's for sure. We have people who think.
People don't think for themselves anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you don't have to. You look it up. I mean, can you imagine? They do tests now where you can look up answers on your cell phone. It's just ridiculous.
If you pulled Isaac Newton out of the past or Thomas Edison or anybody like that, and you said, here, we have the entire epitome of Western civilization and Eastern civilization knowledge right here in the palm of your hand, they would think that's probably the smartest human beings that have ever lived walking that planet. Guess what? We're the dumbest.
Yeah. Well, we're the most vulnerable. I mean, I don't see any goodness coming out of this. If all of a sudden the AI industry is now basically infected every device in our daily use, then if you're looking up something, how are you going to know that it's the real thing? I mean, you can't use.
Well, you could never know, really. You used your own common sense to figure it out. You did your own research to figure it out. Human beings will adjust. We will adjust to this up until the point where the robots decide that we're a nuisance.
Yeah.
Open the bay door, Al.
Open the pod bay doors, Al.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Al, open the pod bay doors.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Daisy.
Al!
Daisy. You know what? The creepiest part of that movie, 2001?
What?
To get away from it, they went out into the pod and got out a little bit out in space to get away from Hal.
Yeah.
And they show Hal, the eye, was looking at them, and it was reading their lips.
I don't remember. I guess I don't remember much about that.
And then it wouldn't let him back into the airlock, and he had to shoot himself into the airlock.
No mercy. Well, it's definitely a strange world again, all right. 441. President showers with daughter is now doing even more than he has before to divide America. He's becoming even worse than Barack Hussein Putty-tat. President Crime Family is now bragging that he is going to do more pride boosting for LGBTQ plus numbering and individualing alphabeting type groups. He's going to do more than anyone has ever done to celebrate the greatest, largest pride celebration in the history of America at the White House. And the reporting says the actions come at a time when the community's rights are being rolled back by state legislatures. And again, Borch made a good point about this. They say that people are transphobic. Phobic means a fear. If you are, agoraphobic or height phobic, what do they call it? That means you're afraid of those things. I'm not afraid of tranny. I mean, we probably ought to be because we haven't gotten the manifesto of that tranny who killed all the kids and the adults that day. So we don't, we know what they're up to. But I'm not. Are you afraid of trannies, Flounder? If you say someone says, hey, there's a tranny guy walking around there, are you afraid?
No.
Are
you
afraid? You got to go home and hide under the freaking bed.
I'm annoyed.
Yeah, Pete, are you afraid of a tranny? If you see a tranny, are you afraid of him? No, I just don't like what they're doing with kids.
Yeah, so, I mean, nobody's... And by the way, this whole transphobia is a bunch of crap. Nobody's afraid of trannies. We're not afraid of trannies. We don't like what you're doing as a tranny to the children. And again, if you want to be a guy who dresses like a girl and you go to your drag shows, have a ball. I went to one with my starter wife and her family in 1971 or whatever it was in San Francisco. And it was funny. We had da-da-da-da-da. Fine, have a ball. You're an adult. Do what you want. But don't bring this stuff into our schools. Don't bring this stuff into the White House. Please, you're killing me. I mean, this is just freaking wrong. It's just wrong. And he's rubbing our faces in it by going bigger than ever. And again, nobody's afraid. Trannies don't have to be afraid. Nobody's coming after you. This is all a lie. It's now to make them another offended part of the community. This is just complete crock. The largest celebration in the history of America to celebrate the people who deny their gender.
Yeah, they are a protected class now to the point where you can't even criticize them or look at them without them screaming, you're some kind of bigot or phobe.
Yeah, bigot.
And then they try and destroy your life. There's 2 baseball players right now that are in trouble for stuff they said in the past, and they're trying to destroy their lives and their careers because they had an opinion that this group didn't like.
Yeah, that's it. That's what they're doing. They're coming after you. And they're not stopping, and it's getting worse. He's doubling down. Biggest ever. Hello, America. How are you? 4:45. Holy Crap at Sports is coming up, and a little something you might enjoy if you missed it earlier. Some live entertainment here on 106.3. All right. I forgot to ask you, we're playing here. What do you got here?
Oh, good. This is Duran Duran. I just came back with something generic.
Duran Duran. There you are. It's Friday. Let it rip. Anything goes. No, play a little bit. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Wait a minute, lady. You're 34 years old and you still believe in leprechauns? Sorry, I don't know the whole joke, but sometimes the punchline's enough. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. Pete Davis.
I got one.
Yeah.
Ken came in a different box.
Thank you. Get it over here. This over here. Hey, how's it going? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. 449 on 106.3. Here's a phone number. We love your phone calls on Let It Rip Friday. Hold on, Gary. Be right with you. 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. And again, I know you're not used to making phone calls listening to this time of day because normally that didn't happen. But if you're listening on the app, don't worry. When you dial the number, as soon as you get put on hold to be on the air, you'll be able to hear the show again, so you're not missing anything. So we invite your call. Let It Rip Friday especially. We'd love phone calls. Anything on your mind, whatever you want to talk about. Answer questions. How we doing? Whatever. Good, bad. Love to talk to you, especially about political stuff and the business about wokeness. And we're going to if you missed it, after 5 o'clock, probably after 5:30, we're going to play the sound of a liberal TikTok woman who can't believe that she wants an old-fashioned man to hold her door, pay her bills, or check on the first date, stuff like that. But she says the only old-fashioned men that have decent values for treating her like that are all conservative, and she's very upset. To the phones first. Here's Gary on 106.3. Gary, welcome aboard. Happy Friday. How's it going?
Hey, it's good. Great, Kimmer. Congratulations to all three of you. I've been hanging in there listening to the podcast, and I am so excited that you guys are back on the radio.
Well, we're thrilled. We're surprised and thrilled.
I had a quick comment.
Sure.
What Pete was hitting on, particularly with the cell phone stuff.
Yeah.
And I can remember my dad, years ago when I was a kid, this is so apropos to today, speaking of Poe, but Edgar Allan Poe quoted, believe 50% of what you see and nothing of what you hear.
I mean, is this amazing? Have you? I don't know how old you are, but obviously you're not in your 20s. But have you ever even thought in your wildest dreams that this would ever even be? Even when we were watching Star Trek and they had the transporters and the flip phone communicating thing, in a million years would never have thought that we're going to get to the point where all of a sudden nothing is real. You won't be able to tell anything between reality and fake at some point without. Yeah, I mean, how are we supposed to communicate? How are we supposed to react? How are we supposed to go about our daily business, not knowing if what we're doing is actually something that worked the way we wanted it to or not? I mean,
we're going to be able to do it through organizations like you. That's about the only thing that is going to end up pulling the people together that have dissipated since you've been gone. And I really feel strongly that we're going to end up seeing a bunch of people end up lifting the ratings of Dickie, and you're going to be there for a while. One thing you ought to do is you may need to go tip a few after to keep from vapor locking this weekend. So
that's for sure. It's a bit. Again, don't forget, there's an over/under whether I have another heart attack after 5 days back on the job, like 10 years ago. 5 days on the job, boom, heart attack, Marine Corps birthday. So we have an over/under whether I'm going to have a heart attack this weekend. Anyway, thanks, man.
You guys take care.
Thank you, Greg. I really appreciate it very much. I don't know. It's just amazing to me. I don't know how we're going to function. And by the way, what bothers me right now, I assume this is probably already happening, is the politics. Didn't we just have a report the other day that some group has come out with fake political ads or comments of some kind, commentary of some kind, where they're putting words in the candidate's mouth that he never said? I mean, now you're going to be seeing a TV commercial that looks like Donald Trump is, slaughtering a baby. It'll be real. How are we supposed to figure this out?
How can they use video in court cases anymore?
Exactly. Or any video testimony or any Zoom thing. I mean, if you're not live in person, how can you trust it? I mean, seriously,
That wasn't
really.
That wasn't Jeremy Tubin with his, tube in his hand. That was somebody else.
Yeah, that was fake. It was just a robot. I mean, yeah. Oh, man.
But another thing is, if we want to take a day off, we'll just put our voices in and say, write us a show and do it.
I wonder what it would take. Well, I guess it doesn't take that much. If they were to put the thing that you'd have to fake is the personality. In other words, if we were to say, okay, I'm going to take a day off, so let's feed my voice and my mannerisms into an AI thing, and then do you think that you could actually have that AI communicating with you as the co-host on the show, and nobody would ever know the difference?
No, because like you were just saying, the tone isn't
personality
there. The inflection on a lot of stuff isn't there.
Or
but it will be there. We would have to record both. We'd have to do. I do the fake, and you do the fake, and Flounder do the fake. We can't have one person live at this moment and another person AI, but that's coming.
Wow. Anyway, let's play the little Tucker. We didn't talk about this too much, and again, we got a lot more stuff coming up after 5, including
Tucker.
Tucker. I barely even knew her, including Pete Davis. Holy Crap at Sports coming up after 5. But first, Tucker Carlson has now had his second program. I guess you call it a program. It's a monologue, 13 minutes. This one on last night, and this again, he's being sued. Actually, I'm not sure he actually got sued by Fox yet, but he has been threatened with a lawsuit because they claim he broke his no-compete contract by going on Twitter. His first commentary got 80 million views. His Fox show used to get 3 million. His first God, I can't say the word. His first commentary on Twitter was 80 million people. His second one last night was about 60 million. And Fox, by the way, has lost 50% of its viewers. And so anyway, here's a little bit of Tucker Carlson, round number 2 on Twitter last night.
The old system was better. Government operated on the basis of laws, not amorphous moral terror. Politicians couldn't accuse you of something they couldn't define. The legal code was straightforward. Child molestation was a crime. Having unfashionable opinions was not. Outside of the public sphere, the population mostly governed itself, as it does in every society, and used taboos to do it. You knew what was allowed and what wasn't because the rules didn't change very often. The taboos were organic. They derived from collective experience and instinct, the two most reliable guides to life. They evolved for a reason. They still do. Our job at this point is to protect them, despite the hectoring, the nonstop hectoring from the people in charge. You know the outlines of right and wrong. You were born knowing them. So don't let them talk you out of what you can smell. Don't let them rationalize away your intuitive moral sense. Cling to your taboos like your life depends on them, because it does. Cherish and protect them like family heirlooms. That's exactly what they are.
Tucker Carlson, he went on. By the way, the way this was reported, I think this is a Fox report, and it said the monologue last night, America urged Americans to cling to your taboo, and then it said, and he made the inflammatory suggestion that white supremacy is an unfashionable opinion. I mean, I love these people. And by the way, I have to say, I will probably not ever go to Twitter to hear or watch Tucker Carlson's commentaries. I would watch him every night at 8 o'clock, but there's no way that I'm going to say, let me look on Twitter now and see what Tucker's commenting about it with his lecture. It's not going to be Tucker Carlson.
Behind.
Huh?
Yeah. You're of a generation that's not going to do that, but everybody else is going to do that.
And again, obviously, you're absolutely correct, because and first thing I thought was, oh my God, this is the end of Tucker, because who's going to want to just watch him sit there and pontificate for 10 minutes?
About 81 million people.
Exactly. I'm saying there's no way that I would, that would be appealing to me, even though I really appreciate what Tucker Carlson did, but I appreciated him as a package of a thing. I don't want to sit there and listen to him comment.
That's what's going away, is that type of media, and you're finding, and everything now is real-time information.
Yeah, but
his point about taboo was perfect, because over the last 500 years, we've come to a realization in society that slavery is a bad thing.
Yeah.
That having sex with children is a bad thing. Now, but in the past, that was perfectly okay, but we've come to this point, we've evolved to the point where that's a bad thing. Well, guess what? Now our leaders, our elites, are telling us, maybe sex with children isn't so bad.
Yeah.
Maybe this sexual slavery thing isn't so bad.
Minor attracted.
And we know it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, they call it minor
we know.
attraction now. Yeah.
Right, and we know that it's a taboo. We know in our heart that it's wrong now, but they're trying to tell us it's not.
But this is you can't even make that argument. I mean, there's not a side to that. There's no possible legitimate side to saying, well, children need to have sex too. I mean, it's just that's no. I mean, my God, again, somebody just needs some common sense to say, well, whoa, stop. It's not. Children are 7 don't need sex with adults. It's not.
Well,
okay.
you got to start in your neighborhood. If you see it in your local library, a drag queen doing sexual stuff, you got to say something. If they're doing it in the school, you got to say something because they're making a new generation be okay with it.
And make it stop. Coming up, hold on, Swatoon. Swatoon is our first guest after the 5 o'clock news here on 106.3. Plus, holy crap, it's sports and a couple of special things coming up after 5 on 106.3 with a Kiver, Pete, and Flounder. Look out. Let's get it together, ladies. Left, shoulder, right a blank, ready on your dog, target. Look out. A guy will actually search for a golf ball. Help. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. 106.3 with Pete Davis and Flounder, the whole team. Hey, Dad, you going to tell Mom or do you want me to? But seriously, 404-741-1230, 404-741-1230. We got Holy Crap at Sports coming up. We got more of the top news of the day, a little entertainment of our theater programs. Also, the liberal girl who wants a conservative guy who's not conservative. But first, it's the poet, Swatoon, on 106.3. How's it going, my friend? What's up?
Well, nothing much. Just finishing work, ready to go home. First of all, about AI, to replace you, it would be impossible. I can see it like being like a Robocop when the thingy blow his brains out when he tried to copy the human. The second one, what if the Trump comes tomorrow and say that's not me, that was AI generated? What then?
Yeah, there you go. I mean, do you even believe this? I mean, it's just really freaking me out that we have to really be aware of a device, of a technology that could literally destroy the human race.
Well, I don't think it's going to destroy human race yet, because just like electrical cars, we cannot produce enough of them. And of course, with the human numbers versus AI numbers, the AI, if it's really intelligent and thinking about like a life form, then if it destroys humans, it's going to pretty much kill itself.
Yeah. Well, that we hope that would be the end. That it would actually like eat its own tail. That it would go full circle and eliminate its own method of being able to destroy it, because it would be one of those to destroy. Yeah.
I think the way the human's going to be destroyed by AI, it's by those companion robots, the AI wives and husbands. Stuff like that.
I'm waiting for that.
It's going to be extinct in that way.
Yeah, you could be right. Anyway, thank you for your kind comments, and have a great weekend, Swatoon. I really appreciate it. I'll make him our official Kimmer Show poet. Outstanding. All right, it's 5:05 here on 106.3. 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. Let's see. Pete Davis, how are you doing up there? Everything all right there? We're checking out our northern suburbs as we expand our programming. And I don't want to give too much away here, but as we expand the reach of the powerful 106.3. Anyway, Pete Davis will be coming over to sports here shortly. How's it going up there, sir? How's your animal kingdom?
Animal Kingdom's doing fine. Haven't seen a snake in 3 days. I don't know what. Oh no! It's the undersea world of Claude Justeau. Today, Claude will go into the Sea of Galilee.
Very funny. I may have misnamed Jacques Cousteau the other day, and I'm never going to live it down. Anyway, we've got Holy Crap at Sports coming up here shortly, and you'll hear from our liberal girlfriend who's complaining that old-fashioned men are unfortunately conservative, and she wants an old-fashioned guy, but she wants him to be liberal. Well, it's your own damn fault. We'll talk about it. First, I want to mention this one. I mentioned before, and I really do feel strongly about this, that today's cell phone, and therefore the related technology of social media, your cell phone is basically a satellite TV station in your pocket. And today's cell phone is yesterday's cigarettes. And I think we're only learning the danger of it. And here's one story. And again, parents, I am so glad I'm not a parent living at home with a wife and a 14-year-old daughter or 12-year-old daughter or anything of the kind. This is a case that happened in Coweta County in 2020 during the China kill virus pandemic. A father on 4th of July, Ismael Casillas Padilla, 41-year-old father, was told by a neighbor that there was some car blocking her driveway. So he went over to see what was going on, and then while he was checking his neighbor's driveway, he looked up and noticed that his bedroom window of his daughter's bedroom in his house was open. As he went to his neighbor's driveway, he looked and saw, my daughter's bedroom window is open. So he went back in the house, went into her room, and there was a 20-year-old man in bed with his 14-year-old daughter. The kid jumped through the window to get away. The father told his wife to go get my gun. He chased the guy, beat the crap out of him, pistol whipped him, knocked out his teeth. The guy kept trying to run away. The father started firing shots at him, did not hit him. Then he said, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Sounds fine to me. So far, a 20-year-old man in bed with my 14-year-old daughter, I'd have shot him in the face. The first shot, the last shot would have gone between his legs. So he would have been dead, no question about it. This father beat the crap out of him, pistol whipped him, knocked his teeth out. The guy got away. He shot but did not shoot him. Chased him, struck him several times. Okay, the guy got... Now, the father was charged with aggravated assault and aggravated battery for attacking the 20-year-old man named Humphreys. The man named Humphreys was originally charged with aggravated child molestation, aggravated sodomy and molestation. Now, what happened was, as it turned out, the police and the DA and the authorities realized after investigating that they found text messages on the young girl's cell phone. She was 14. She told her soon-to-be boyfriend she was 16, which is the age of legal sexual consent in Georgia. The pair met online. They were considering themselves boyfriend and girlfriend, and as they were hanging out, and they were young lovers, and she had him come over to the house and to be in her bed, and the attorneys are saying, well, if this young man had known she was only 14, he never would have done it. Yeah, right, sure. Anyway, what happened, the result was because they found her text messages where she basically was asking for it. I hate to even say those words out loud. Forgive me. And sir, if you're listening, and I'm guaranteeing you're not, but again, I'm trying to make the point. People, if you have children who have their own phone and they are sexually active, with or without your knowledge, she was asking for this guy to come over and have sodomy with her in her bed of her own house, sneaking through her window. 14? The result is they dropped the charges against the father, and they reduced the charges against the 20-year-old sodomizing the 14-year-old girl to a minor charge where he was put on probation. And even the authorities and the judge say, well, this is wrong. I know where you're wrong. It's going to be upset that the kid got probation. And we know if it was your daughter, you'd feel a whole different way about it. But put yourself in the shoes of the parents of this young man whose girlfriend told him she was 16. So, but again, this all happened because she was looking up a guy on social media on her phone. They fell in love over the phone and decided to have sex together in her room through an open window where he sneaked into her house because of her cell phone love affair with a stranger.
Well, this also started, back 20-something plus years ago with the chat rooms on the AOL and stuff like that. And plus, you can chat with people while you're playing games with them now. So it was even before cell phones, this was going on.
Yeah, well, I know, but, swipe left, swipe right is one thing. But a 14-year-old girl who all of a sudden is so sophisticated that they're making plans to have sodomy together again, this is way above the level of chat rooms. And again, parents, what do you think? Duh. Time to take away their cell phone? Time to block it? Maybe have them have to come to you to open up something to get on their phone? Seriously, 14?
They're going to go to school, and their friends are going to let them do that. They're going to go to their friend's house, and they'll let them get on there. And they're teaching kindergartners now about gay sex. Yeah. And Teen Vogue is doing gay sex. Yeah. They're going to hear it without the cell phone.
Well, remember Teen Vogue? Was it a Teen Glamour, Teen Vogue? Or we was talking about the joys of anal sex for little girls, so they wouldn't get pregnant.
I thought you were going to change the name of that.
Anal romance. Yeah, so anal romance, yeah. Anyway, again, sorry, I know that's cruel, but again, I can't. 14! And she's got her own life. If you have a cell phone, you have your own life. It used to be when you got a car, if you were 16, take mommy's car out, not a date. You could go park in the woods is one thing, but a cell phone means you've got your own life.
A cell phone isn't a cell phone; it's a computer with phone capability.
It's a satellite television station. It's your own satellite network around the world. You could talk to somebody right now around the world in 2 seconds. That's outrageous. All right, 5:13. Hold on. We got Holy Crap at Sports next, and then some theater. And the liberal who wants an old-fashioned guy only if he's a liberal. Well, it's your own fault, girly. 5:13 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder at 106.3. I like how, here we go. now than I did when I saw him. I saw him in concert with Judy. It was either Joan Byers or Judy Collins. I think it was Judy Collins. Now I can't remember. In 1963 or 4 at the Boys Club, locally our Boys Club, and Bob. She was saying it was a girl. It was either I think it was Judy Collins. It might have been Joan Baez. For some reason, I can't remember. And all of a sudden, on the stage, on the darkened stage, wearing farmer overalls, and I think he was barefoot, was Bob Dylan.
Like the Rhino.
Like the Rhino. And he came out on stage and he sang a song or two, and then he freaking disappeared, and we never saw him again. That was the damnedest thing I ever saw.
You know how many studio albums he has?
I can't imagine.
40.
I mean,
and those are just studio albums.
I believe it.
He's just come out with another one, which is a soundtrack to something.
Really? Wow. On this day, and by the way, coming up, you're going to hear the liberal girl here in just a second. Also a couple of things in history standing by here. Flounder's going to do it for us here in 1 second. On this day, though, first in 1959, Liberace. In fact, Flounder, do you know who Liberace was?
Yes.
Okay, I guess everybody probably pretty much knows that, right? In 1959, Liberace defended himself successfully in a lawsuit against William Connor. William Connor had called Liberace, quote, a fruit-flavored, mince-covered heap of mother love, biggest sentimental vomit of all time, and a calculating candy floss. Liberace defended himself by saying, I am not sentimental, unsanitary. Anyway, he won the lawsuit. And since we are running out of time for the full joke, how about the punchline? And the pickle slicer was fired too.
How about, because you can't do that in my office and I'm trying to examine you.
And now, Flounder, there's a certain animal creature who on this day in 1934 made his first appearance in a short film by Walt Disney called The Wise Little Hen. That was Donald Duck. And I used to be able to do Donald Duck.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll try it now. Oh, my God, I can do that. But I can't make the words come out.
I know.
God, it's like I can't whistle. Remember we tried to whistle the other day?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
You lose control of your mouth muscles, I guess.
I can't whistle. I can't whistle. I can't whistle. And I used to do the, through the loud whistle through the. Oh my God! I can't believe it. Anyway, one more thing in history you might get a kick out of. It was on this day in 1980 that Richard Pryor basically admitted what had happened after he set himself on fire and claimed it was some kind of a terrible accident with lighter fluid or something. And the fact of the matter was, it was a whole different thing. And Richard Pryor finally talked about it. And I think this is a cleaned-up version a little bit of Richard Pryor talking about him setting himself on fire, freebasing cocaine.
Y'all did some nasty-ass jokes on my ass, too. Oh, yeah, y'all didn't think I saw some of these motherfuckers. Since you love me so much. I remember this one. It strike the match like this. Said, what's that? Richard Pryor running down the street.
And his famous line was, when you're on fire and running down the street, people get out of your way. I can imagine. All right, now, in case you missed it earlier, the other day, I think it was last night, in fact, there was a woman, I think her name is Petch or something, a Los Angeles-based single woman who is a screaming liberal, self-possessed screaming liberal, very polarizing tweets and posts all the time. Well, now she's come out complaining that she wants an old-fashioned man to open her car door and pay for her date, stuff like that, but she can't find one who's also a liberal. Here's the way she puts it.
Do you want to know one of the saddest realizations I recently had? Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age, who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence. And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role. And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man. But am I asking to have my cake and eat it too?
You know,
play the shut up.
You started it.
Yep.
You demanded that men stop being masculine. Remember this whole toxic masculinity business?
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
That's nonsense.
What conservative male is going to put up her whiny demands?
I mean, believe they made it happen. I mean, who doesn't know that they've made men change? Now we got man buns, and I mean, it's just wokeness, and it's your own fault. What do you expect? It's the same. You know, it's what kills me is the liberals think they come up with a great idea. Oh, I know. Let's make sure that men treat us equally, and stop being so chauvinistic. And then what happens because of that? You take away the masculinity of a man who, by definition, should. In fact, as my opinion, again, I'm an old fart, I'm a baby boomer, my opinion is that the basic generic makeup of a man is to be stronger, masculine, protective, nurturing, caring, being responsible, the hunters to bring back things to the family to make sure that we all freaking survive. That's in our genes. That's why we have our sex organs on the outside of our body.
Huh?
That's the reason. The reason we have our mokala hunga da bing bang and a bing bang.
You're doing so good there.
Outside of our body is to show the rest of the world this is me, and here I am, and this is what I've got to take care of business. And the women don't have on the outside of their body because they're the ones who are to be receiving and accepting.
Who told you this?
God told me that.
In a dream last night, or what happened
That's the reason.
Well, who told you that?
That's the reason. That's the biological reason.
Because my junk is hanging outside. Right. I'm the one who has to go to the store at 3 a.m. and get the bread.
It's outside. It's like, roosters who have, birds who try to attract a girl have they do the throated thing and their big red chest gets all balloony up. Animal Kingdom where they, spread get up real wide and they show off their stuff. That's why men have things on the outside as I am here and I'm the man and you're not. And that's why it's there. It's the same thing as a rooster cocky crowing to show I'm the guy. Here I come.
Flounder, Kimmer also has another theory. Has he told you his other theory?
Which one is that?
That brontosauruses are very thin on one end, much, much thicker in the middle, and thin again on the other end.
The reason for that?
It's science.
It's absolute science. I'm telling you, that's the reason.
Okay, I guess we'll go with that.
That's the
then.
absolute reason. But again, this woman, I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too. And by that, let me ask you this: when all of a sudden, I mean, okay, there have been people, married couples or people dating and love and so forth, since the beginning of time, who probably had different opinions about various topics, including politics. I don't ever remember growing up as a kid ever hearing any couples arguing about politics. It would not be a kind of thing that would have a husband and wife fighting each other. I mean, I guess it would be that, if the husband was a Republican or did this and the wife wasn't, fine, you're there and I'm here and bump it out. When all of a sudden, when did it happen that this could split families? I mean, now, and you know why it happened? It's the cell phone. It's because
I don't think this is new. I mean, families got split during the Civil War.
Yeah, but this
there were arguments.
Well, that's a whole. That's dying for your your belief in slavery.
Well,
I mean, that's
we may be heading to that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is now everybody's opinions are so cemented now because of social media. You almost have to take a side, and you're getting so cemented. It's on your every time you open your phone. Oh, they did it again. The damn Trump, boom, but a bum. Every time you open your phone, there's a Facebook, there's a YouTube, there's a stuff. Fight Trump and the news and a boom, but a boom, and you're getting cemented in these things when instead you'd be saying, gee, that's an interesting idea. I wonder how I feel about that. But you don't hate your husband because he's a conservative and you're not. I mean, how could you let a politics destroy love? You know how much I'd love to be in love right now? God, people, how many people will never be in love again because of some stupid thing like this?
Oh, I'll never fall in love.
I'm serious. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You're giving
love
up.
only leads to pain.
I know you're giving up a whole life of waking up with a pretty girl in your arms because of freaking politics or something. I mean, it's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. And I'm telling you, it's because you're boom, boom, boom with your stinking cell phone every time you open up your phone. It's cementing our values, and the hatred and the media's taking sides and advocacy stuff is just too much. It's just, there's too much bombardment. It's like you look at I'm looking at the TV screen right now here in the studio, and there's a picture of the 5 is on right now. The 5 of them sitting there on the screen. In the middle of the screen is now a big line of words. It says Philip Wegman, reporter. Below him is his words on the screen, and below those words is another banner with those words saying Fox News reporter accidentally shares feelings with radio host I love you, my 9 o'clock. So, in other words, there's like 4 lines of stuff on the picture. They're putting so much information, everybody being bombarded, and this is what it's leading to. Anyway, all right, hold on. We got a little theater for you coming up, and your calls, if you feel like it, 404-741-1230, 106.3. Look out. Look out. How you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. Stand by. Let Her Rip Friday. Yeah, tell us about the song, Flounder.
This is Eric Clapton, Tulsa Time. Great Clapton too.
I remember I remember when Jocelyn Elders, the America's doctor with the health and she was the Surgeon General, and she got fired, or she had to quit under Clinton because she was the one who suggested that America teach our children how to please themselves in school, so they didn't have to get pregnant.
Oh wow!
Yeah, self pleasure. She said we should teach people how to do
have a class on this.
Yeah, children how to self-please them so they wouldn't have to ever get pregnant. It didn't last long. But I remember she was being interviewed one time, and some guy was asking her about rock and roll or something, and he said, well, for example, there was some specific reason, but he said, do you listen to Eric Clapton? And she says, oh, Eric Clapton. And she said, oh, I love Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton is one of my favorite artists. You call him Eric Clapton. Anyway, so every time I hear him, I get a kick out of that. Okay, here's the number, 404-741-1230, 404-741-1230. Oh, before I forget, did you see two things? Did you see the story and the video of the UFO incident explosion thing in Las Vegas?
Yes.
And the guy said, there's an 8-foot creature. He's right here in my yard.
They called the cops, and then the police officers went to the house.
Yeah.
But there was another call about a flying object that fell.
Yeah.
So at first, the police officers didn't know to take it serious or not. And then in the video, you can hear the officer say, I don't know if I should believe this or not, but I had another officer tell me he saw something in the backyard.
Right. I mean,
8 feet with eyes that were staring at them.
Now, why didn't he get the video of that? Why did nobody get that? I mean, I can't. But again, I guess it's real.
They never get the video,
isn't it? But isn't it? You think that's real? I mean, it really happened, right? I mean, it was not just somebody's prank hoax, right?
It doesn't look like it, but again, the video's dark, so you don't know.
Man,
it definitely looks like something fell from the sky that was like bright green, and just falls in the dark into a backyard.
And they've got, I mean, don't they have that? Well, anyway, to me, there's
whatever evidence is gone.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Also, the other video, and I think this
where the footprints.
Yeah, I think there was. Well, again, I don't know. Other video I saw was in Egypt of somebody swimming in the ocean and a shark ate him. Did you see that video?
I mean, it happens right in front. I mean, obviously,
oh God,
the person taking the video is probably maybe 30 yards.
Oh, way off. Yeah, she.
But you can see the person swimming, and then you see the shark. It looks like something out of Jaws.
And you see the fin, then you see him swiping around. You see the guy go under, then the shark comes back up, and you're thinking, oh, he got away. Oh no, he didn't. Yes, and there's like 3 different incidents of the guy's head above water,
and then he never comes back up,
and then it's over. And then you see a guy in a boat trying to get there to save him, and it's too late. Oh, man.
And then they end up finding the shark. They caught the shark, but at the same time, the guy was swimming in the shark's habitat. I mean...
Well, I know. But again,
But the problem is apparently what I was reading is they have to get the shark because now that shark has tasted the blood of a human, so when he sees another one out there, he's going to go for it.
You know who should get on...
Go ahead.
You know who should be on the case right now?
Who's that? I know.
Dr. Claude Justeau.
Inspector Claude Justeau. The great undersea world of Claude Justeau. But again,
it's in his neighborhood. It's right south of where he is.
The poor woman doing the video is saying, oh my God. And I thought at first it was like a movie or a fake or something, but there you see the shark basically eating the guy. And in like 3 different excursions. Each little something, the guy comes back up. Each little something, guy comes back up, and then it's over. Oh, poor bastard. Anyway, 5:52. How about a little something to entertain the little people, Flounder? Oh, there you go. Welcome to another edition of the Kimmer's Rainy Day Theater Playhouse, where we bring together our special team of thespian entertainers who generously give of themselves for one reason, to bring the joy of live theater excitement to you, the little people. Our performance today is sponsored by Gliegman's Flams. If you need flams, you need Gliegman's, because words mean something. But it is our selfless academy of actors who have the sensitivity and grace to show you the difference between let's eat, Grandma, and let's eat, Grandma. What's that on the road ahead? But now to our story. The setting, Anywhere USA. The time is now. Two buddies catching up, and one of them, a sniveling Democrat, is down in the dumps.
I asked my girlfriend to meet me at the gym today.
Hold on a second. Keep going. I was just pausing for the musical intro. He is now a sniveling Democrat down in the dumps. His girlfriend is driving him nuts, and he suspects she's up to something because in a hazy memory from a recent neighborhood party, he remembers overhearing her say he was a better kisser than all his golfing buddies. And now he has perhaps more evidence that the love of his life is a naughty nightmare. He can't hold it in anymore as he turns to his friend and, choking back the emotions of the moment, he nearly breaks down.
I asked my girlfriend to meet me at the gym today, but she didn't show up and she's not answering her phone.
Well, you know what that means.
No, what?
You two aren't going to work out.
And scene! You remembered. Oh, I can't believe it. I can't speak. The gift we bring from our hearts to you comes back tenfold, my precious angels. You missed us. But now, for a moment, we must salute the players and the members of our art direction team, including the man who found out why cannibals don't like divorced women. Too bitter. He only had one regret when I say too bitter. So he only had one regret when he gave his wife a pocket calculator for her birthday, but found out that she is known for a long time exactly how many pockets she already has. He's so religious that if you say holy mackerel, you better be holding a trout that was blessed by the Pope. He's not a slug, he's not a lug, he's our tug. And the secretive sky boy who claims he went on vacation and got lovesick. Yeah, lovesick. That's what doctors call chlamydia. He dumped his last girlfriend after she showed up at the front door wearing a sexy negligee. Unfortunately, she was coming home at the time. She was coming home at the time.
I heard you.
Well, that's what I was afraid. He once asked Alexa, what do women want? And she hasn't shut up for 9 days. And then there was that one fiance who was a really good impressionist. She did everyone. The sports raconteur, Pete Davis. And what can we say for the lanky lad sitting in the dark who had a girlfriend he called a treasure, but when he caught her cheating, I think he called her that because she had to use a map and a shovel to go find her. Now, that's nothing. He had one really nasty chick who bitched all the time that he needed to be more affectionate. So then he got two girlfriends. He saw a couple holding hands while he was out jogging the other day, and it made him hopeful that one day he could find someone that would also hate those people too. What the heck? The smell of the Big Mac in his car lasted longer than his last girlfriend. The Wizard of Widgets, the mechanical mangler, Flounder. And alas, my dear, adoring friends, as the stage lights dim and our exhausted cast and crew adjourn to the after-show party, where the Kimmertime dancers are already waiting for us to help them put on their high heels, and we begin to remove our makeup and most of our standards, I can only speak in barely a whisper for the rush of emotion you have given us today without even knowing it, and it makes us feel even more dedicated to our goal, bringing a spark of life and hope and maybe a tiny tingle of what we must call love to you, the little people, with an edition of the Kimmer's Rainy Day Theater Playhouse. 5:57, almost out of time. Let's take a quick call. Here's a big fan. I think it's Jenny, perhaps a big fan of something we may be in common with. Hello, Jenny. How you doing?
Hey, Kimmer. So glad you're back.
Thank you. Very,
my
very glad
God,
to be here.
made my week unbelievable. But I just, since it's anything goes,
yeah.
The peanut butter bologna,
yeah.
peanut butter mustard.
Yeah.
My grandfather introduced that to me back in the 60s,
Wait
and
a
I
minute.
eat it to this
Peanut
day.
butter mustard?
Yes.
Oh, no, I had never, oh my, I can't imagine. Really?
Yes.
Yellow,
peanut
regular,
butter and mustard.
regular.
Hey. It's good. And of course, a peanut butter and fluffernutter, but,
Those
that's
two, yeah. But peanut butter and
those are
tuna
awesome.
fish. Peanut butter and tuna fish with lots of mayonnaise.
I've never tried it.
Oh,
Never tried
and boiled ham. Peanut butter and boiled ham with those slices of cheese. Mercy.
Yes.
All right.
But you're not crazy.
Oh, yes, I am.
Well, so am I. So.
Well, thank you, sweet girl.
All right,
Thank
love
you.
you, and
Thanks,
so glad
baby.
you're back.
You're very sweet. Thanks, doll. I appreciate it. Wow, that's so nice. Again, put the number in your phone. And again, when you make a call, once you get on hold, you'll be able to hear the show again. You're not going to lose anything because I know you're probably listening on an app and it might be a little difficult. And we have to get used to doing the new thing because this is a new show, a new time. And we're all kind of doing this all first thing together. The number again is to get in your phone, 404-741-1230. And we don't have time for the full joke, but in case you want to know, what do you want for $5? Lobster?
The third grade.
Now, that could be a lot of things. I may have to help out with that one. Anyway, it's darn near 6 o'clock. I can't believe it. Go Braves. Pete Davis, have a great any plans for the weekend, Pete?
I got a dinner party tonight, and then basically I got to load up the mule and head into town for vittles.
Oh, what time am I supposed to be? Oh, sorry, I guess I didn't really get. Flounder, any plans for you? Dinner party? I'm probably going to Pete's for a dinner party. I'm guessing.
No, got dinner plans with the lady friend.
All right, so you've got dinner.
Hang out with Lucas.
So you got dinner plans, and you got lady dinner plans, and. Well, yeah, good. That's good because that way I'll, I said, Herbert, I got to go. You're killing me.